A government that claims to prioritize the poor and working class pays out more to rich people than it does to poor people when it comes to road accident fund claims. Does that make sense to anyone? Before we begin, welcome to Citizen Concerned, where we remind you to beware of the comrades. I'm Katlego, and we'd appreciate it if you subscribed to our YouTube channel, liked and shared this video with other citizens.
The mandate of the Road Accident Fund is to provide appropriate cover to all road users within the South African borders.
A man from Switzerland was riding his motorcycle within the borders of South Africa. He had a head-on collision with another vehicle while on his motorcycle in 2008. There is no information of that injury being caused by the government of South Africa, but simply because he claims to have been an entrepreneur, the government of South Africa paid him. He started to make claims from the Road Accident Fund of South Africa, starting from the high figure of 4 billion rands. He then claimed 1.4 billion rand, but eventually he managed to get himself a nice juicy 500 million rands.
The biggest beneficiary we have in this country, it's a Swiss national who has paid more than 500 million of money.
Imagine that. Why? Because he was an entrepreneur. He did not die leaving his dependents destitute, no. But because he claimed to be a businessman, it simply means he got to claim so much money from the taxpayers of South Africa. If you're not a businessman with fancy companies like him, can you guess what you would have received from the Road Accident Fund? What do you think would have happened to you? What if you were a security guard? How much do you think you would have gotten?
RAF also expressed concern about the regressive way of assessing claims despite being a social benefit. It says claims are based on higher earning capacity, higher earnings, higher payments, and lower earnings, lower payments.
Any billionaire that can crash on our roads chair can claim from RAF. But this is a social benefit scheme.
What if he was Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg? How much was he going to get from the taxpayers of South Africa? In that case, this guy could have possibly been granted trillions of rands, Mos.
Any foreigner walking our roads gets to be paid by the RAF, something that in this whole wild world is not done anyway.
Am I missing something here? The ANC has allowed for anyone within our borders to simply collect a big fat check if they get injured on our roads, as if we can afford it. As long as you're injured, especially if you claim to have a bright future ahead of yourself, then you will definitely get a chance to claim for some big bucks.
It's worse. When you go to other countries, you are not even allowed to claim a social benefit. And you must tell them, I'm not going to, let alone the fact that they will say, please get insurance for yourself. But they say, also sign that you will never ask for social benefits in this country.
Basically, in the eyes of the ANC, the same ANC that cares for the poor and working class, according to their own claims, poor people are worth less than rich people. To this day, that Swiss gentleman is the highest paid Road Accident Fund claimant. How many South Africans have been involved in accidents and made claims from the Road Accident Fund since its inception in 1997? Yet he remains the highest paid claimant. This habit of paying people heavy amounts of money with no logical justification is why you see that we also have people who don't fear or respect cars in this country. Is it me, or do we have people who love to stand on the roads as if they're inviting the car to bump into them? Could they be trying their luck to get a rough payout? I wonder. Seriously though, what kind of a system is that simply has no limit on the amounts that people can claim from the Road Accident Fund? The way I see it, if you are reckless on the roads, you should not get any payout. Thorough investigations surrounding the accident should be conducted. If you are a foreigner coming into South Africa, you should have insurance protecting yourself from such kinds of injuries. Road Accident Fund should not cater for you. What do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments section below. If the government was responsible for the injury that occurred, then I could agree that perhaps we as South Africans being represented by the government have erred, and hence the ministers in charge should go to jail and we have to pay that claimant. In this case, it was some reckless guy who hurt the Swiss national. How are we held accountable for the actions of one man? Did this guy end up in jail for injuring this foreigner? I wonder. But these are the kinds of weaknesses we have in our country. The ANC is just being reckless with an entire nation and our money. We are all contributing the same amounts to the fund. Billionaires are not contributing more to it than the rest of us. If we are all paying an equal set fuel levy per litre, that is, then why should a business owner get hundreds of millions when they lose a hand, but when a security guard loses a hand, they're only allowed maybe less than 5 million rand simply because they did not have a degree or were not directors or CEOs. This is dumb. What is worse is that rich people have medical aid, they have higher life insurance, accidental injury cover, and all of that. So they need our taxes less than poor people do. So how did the government agree to this illogical way of payouts? I'm sorry, guys, but this does not make any sense. The government should compensate in a uniform manner whether I am rich or poor. Remember that some of these people are not injured by the government's incompetence. Which country has this model across the world? South Africa even allows for foreigners to claim from the Road Accident Fund, whether they are here legally or illegally. It doesn't matter. How? The ANC claims to be there for all equally, but in this case, they actually favor the rich people in the country over the poor. Obviously. But what kind of nonsense is this? I mean, South Africa is currently a very poor country, but it wants to compensate people as if it is a rich superpower. Like, make it make sense. Basically, day after day, story after story, we learn that there is nothing that the ANC does that it does well, except for things like incompetence, laziness, and corruption. The ANC is a master of those kinds of rotten deeds. These are the reasons why we need to get rid of the ANC from our community. The ANC and its babies must go. No joke. You establish the Road Accident Fund, and the most paid person from that fund is a foreigner. Thousands of South Africans die on roads every year. Some are breadwinners, leaving families destitute, and they all get paid according to their social class. If you are poor, then you get less. If you are rich, then you get more. That is nonsense. As if that is not sad enough, a lot of the lawyers we have in our country who specialize in road accident fund claims as well as medical injury claims are dirty.
Now, a former road accident fund lawyer has been charged for allegedly stealing his client's payout. It is alleged that he received over 360,000 rand from the fund. And
it happens almost all the time. I'll tell you that we find this thing almost on a daily basis that we have a case like this. I mean, most of these cases, you would find that sentence, for instance, is suspended. Then you find a situation where someone is given another 5 years to pay back the money he has stolen.
Over 9,000 lawyers have been referred to the Legal Practice Council following complaints related to the Road Accident Fund. Now, most of these legal practitioners are accused of swindling their clients of the fund's payouts. The Gauteng Judge President, Dunstan Mlambo, describes it as a gravy train for lawyers and medical experts. What's going on?
Probably because when I came here last time, I told you lawyers are corrupt. The Judge President has said it. He has got evidence. He said he challenged them to do it. And it's something that we know. This is, in majority of cases, by the way, this is just a tip of the iceberg, according to what we see.
The Judge President, Dunstan Mlambo, as he explained the situation, he says, magistrates have seen files that suggest RAF settles some of these cases when someone, for example, will say, I have suffered brain damage, when in fact that person has only suffered an abrasion to the ankle. Yes. That's just an example he uses.
We are dealing with looters. And then we must deal with the fact that the fund itself is not even well funded.
The Minister of Transport says given the economic pressures facing the country, the fund's reliance solely on fuel levy is not sustainable.
Say what you want to say, but the ANC is the worst thing to happen to this country. That's a fact. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please join the channel membership or donate to the account details in the description box below. I'm Katlego. This is Citizen Concerned. And until next time, beware of the comrades.